Hi, this is Rabbi Aaron Shub. We're going to be doing a series of videos on Hilchot Tefilah, the laws of prayer. We're going to be using the Aruch Hashulchan for our studies. This is a book that I've chosen because, well, there are a number of reasons. One, it's modern enough. It's written by a late 19th, mostly 19th, and early 20th century Lithuanian rabbi, Rav Yechiel Michael Epstein. And unlike the author of the Mishnah Brura, halachic text which is more often referred to, that's actually a commentary on the Shulchan Aruch, a more foundational text of Jewish law. The Mishnah Brura's author was written by, he was a yeshiva rabbi, he was a Rosh Yeshiva, he was an academic, whereas Rav Yechiel Michael Epstein of the Aruch Hashulchan, he was a community rabbi. He was paskening halacha, making legal decisions for the members of his community. Also, the Aruch Hashulchan uses the same chapter notation. It's organized in the same way as the Torah and the Shulchan Aruch, the two more foundational texts of Jewish law. And he goes into more detail, surveying a lot of the important halachic literature up to his own time, and he analyzes and presents his own opinion as well. So we're going to go into the beginning of the laws of prayer, Hilchot Tefilah, in Orach Chaim, which is the first section of Torah, Shulchan Aruch, Aruch Hashulchan, Siman Pei Tet, chapter 89, Seif Aleph, part 1. I'm going to be reading in Hebrew and then translating into English, so this may be jarring for some of you, but please bear with me. If you understand the Hebrew somewhat, then hopefully the translation and having the Hebrew at your disposal will be helpful in understanding the laws here. Katav Ramban. Maimonides wrote in the Mishneh Torah, Reish Hilchot Tefilah, in the beginning of the laws of prayer, Mitzvat aseh lihitpalel bechol yom. It's a positive commandment, rather it's a commandment to do something, thou shalt kind of commandment, to pray every day. Shnei Amar, if it's written in the Torah, V'avadatem et Hashem Elokechem, and you shall serve the Eternal, your God. Mipi Shmu'ah, through the oral Torah, through rabbinic tradition, Lamadnu she'avodah zuhi tefillah. We've learned that service, avodah, that's prayer. Shnei Amar, as it's written in the Torah, this is an excerpt from Deuteronomy, a piece that we say twice a day in the morning and evening Shema. It's also written in the Tefillin and also written on our mezuzot that we put on our doors. Ule'ovdo, and to serve God, bechol levavchem, with all your hearts. Amru Chachamim, the sages of the Talmud said, Ezu hi avodah shebalev, what service of the heart? Zot tefillah, that's prayer. ואין מניין התפילות מן התורה, ואין נוסחת התפילה מן התורה, ואין לתפילה זמן קבוע מן התורה. And prayer does not have, the number of prayers is not set from the Torah, the liturgy is not set from the Torah, and the set times from the Torah, the set times of prayer are not from the Torah. Now the next part is the reason for the importance of this is going to be somewhat problematic to those of us with a more modern sensibility, especially if you have gender egalitarianism as an assumption, but it's important to know what the halachic literature says. ולפיכך, נשים ועבדים חייבים בתפילה, לפי שהיא מצוות עשה שלו הזמן גרמה. Therefore, women and slaves are obligated in prayer because it is a positive commandment that is not time-bound. It's a basic principle in the Torah that time-bound mitzvot, like wearing tefillin, like saying Shema, are things that women are not obligated to do. That's a whole other discussion. Right now we're just sticking with the text. אלא חיוב מצווה זו, כך הוא שיהא אדם מתחנן ומתפלל בכל יום ומגיד שבחו של הקדוש ברוך הוא, ואחר כך שואל צרכיו, שהוא צריך להם בבקשה, בתחינה, ואחר כך נותן שבח והודיה להשם, על הטובה שהשפיעה לו על כל אחד, כפי כוחו. That was a long bit of Hebrew, and I'm going to translate that into English. But this commandment the obligation within this commandment is such that one should beg and pray every day and give the Holy One, blessed be He's, praise, and then ask for one's needs that to be fulfilled. And after that, give praise and thanks to the Eternal on all the good that has come to us through God's power. Ad kon lashon Rambam. Up until here, this is the end of the quotation of the Rambam. So now we move into Seif Bet, where we actually get the Aruch Hashulchan talking and not just quoting Maimonides. והנה, לדעת הרמב"ם, הרי תפילה בכל יום מצוות עשה. And so we see that it is the opinion of Maimonides that daily prayer, is a positive commandment from the Torah. כמו שביאר זה בספר מצוות, מצווה ה', as he explained to us in his book of the commandments, in the book of the Sefer Mitzvot, mitzvah 5. ובספרי אמרי כן, and it also says so in the Sifri. והרמב"ן, Nachmanides, חולק עליו, disagrees with him. חולק עליו שם, וסביר עלי, דתפילה היא מדרבנן, כמפורסם בכל השולחן ערוך. So the Ramban says that prayer is actually a rabbinic commandment, not a Torah commandment at all. And the Shulchan Aruch, the more foundational work of Jewish law, also says so. The Tefillah D'Rabbanan, prayer, according to the vast majority of poskim, of Jewish legal experts, prayer is a rabbinic mitzvah. It's a rabbinic commandment, not a biblical one at all. Waladat Rambam, and according to Maimonides, he anuschat uzmanei tefillah. Yeah. According to the Rambam, it's the liturgy and the times of prayer, which are rabbinic. V'zeh amru safek, and that which was said in the Talmud, safek hitpalel, safek lo hitpalel, einu chozer umitpalel. Zeu gam ken al tefillah hakvu'ah. So the Rambam has to do some explaining. After all, not only does the Shulchan Aruch say that prayer is rabbinic, but it says explicitly in the Talmud that if somebody doesn't remember if they've said the Amidah that day, so when they say prayer, they mean the Amidah in general. One does not go back and pray it. Well, if prayer was a biblical commandment, a doraita, mitzvah doraita, then we would apply the principle safek doraita lechumra, that in a case of doubt as to whether or not we fulfilled a biblical commandment, we are strict and we make sure that we do it. Here the Talmud is saying, if you've forgotten if you've davened or not, if you've forgotten if you said the Shemona Esrei, the Amidah, you don't go back and do it, which implies, logically, that it's a rabbinic mitzvah. So how does Rambam explain himself? Oh, Rambam says, no. What they meant there was actually the set liturgical prayer, not prayer itself. V'od, כיוון דהספק הוא על התפילה, סליחה, ועוד כיוון שהספק הוא על תפילה אחת, since the doubt being described by the Talmud there is on one prayer, אם כן, התפלל שני תפילות ויצא לידי חובתו מן התורה. If so, one can say the Shemona Esrei twice and fulfill one's biblical commandment. One has fulfilled one's obligation according to the Torah. וכן בוולקרי שאמרו שם שלא יתפלל. Now, a man who has ejaculated, it says there in the Talmud that he should not pray. היינו התפילה הקבועה. That also refers to set liturgical prayer, which is rabbinically commanded. אבל יש לו להתחנן לפני השם בצורכיו, בלי הזכרת השם, בלי הזכרת שם הוויה. But still, this Balkari, this man who's ejaculated and is in a state of impurity, still has an obligation to supplicate before the Eternal One for his needs, without saying the four-letter name of God. And a lot of four-letter words out there. This one is, I don't want to say Yud K Vav K. K is an English letter, but you know what? The word for being in all four tenses at once, in all three tenses at once, which we do not pronounce. This is what the Balkari, who is in a state of impurity, does not use in that prayer. ויוצא 18 מן התורה, and he has fulfilled his obligation of 18, of the Amidah from the Torah. וכן כשאמרו נשים חייבות בתפילה, when the Talmud says that women are obligated in prayer, לא על התפילה הקבועה, but this is not, what they're obligated in is not prayer that has a set time, אלה שמחויבות להתחנן לפני השם בתפילה ובתחנונים. But rather that they are obligated to supplicate themselves before the Eternal One in prayer and many supplications and beg before God. ועוד יתבאר בזה בסייעתא דשמיא בסימן ק"ו. And we'll elaborate upon this, God willing, in Siman 106, in chapter 106. We will continue tomorrow. We're left with a puzzle. We have the Rambam, who strongly feels that prayer is a Doraita mitzvah, that it's a biblical commandment, that the Torah demands that we pray. But most of the Talmud and the Shulchan Aruch say otherwise. But yet, Rambam does everything he can to justify his position. And the Aruch Hashulchan will have some very interesting things to say on this topic. Join us tomorrow for more. Thank you. And